Also, some fans were taken aback by the historical inaccuracies and timeline liberties filmmakers appeared to have taken with the iconic singer's life. We may or may not know all the real answer, but we do know that the film did tell a few lies, except for all the stuff about his cats. That was all totally true. Here are a number of things we are lied about. Freddie's meeting with his partner in crime, Brian and Roger. In the movie version, we see a shy young Freddie Mercury introducing himself to Brian May and Roger Taylor, guitarist and drummer of a band called Smile. The characters of Freddie, May, and Taylor are played by Rami Malek, Gwilym Lee, and Ben Hardy. But according to the authorized biographies, Queen, As It Began, and 40 Years of Queen, Freddie Mercury already knew May, Taylor, and Tim Stifell, Smile's singer, and bassist when Smile was still around. The four of them even shared an apartment together. The debut of Queen. As the movie has it, Queen played its first gig in Smile's old London venue. In reality, it happened at a half-empty Red Cross benefit in Cornwall in May 1970. Getting a studio, and with it, a crazy rodeo. In Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen sells its touring van in order to buy studio time to make its first album, a very cliched biopic moment. Whereas in reality, Norman Sheffield, owner of Trident, which was one of the best recording studios in the UK, offered Queen free studio time and a stipend in exchange for owning the band's output. Another horrific error is that Queen is seen playing Fat-Bottomed Girls on the 1974 tour. In fact, they wouldn't write that song until 1978 for the album Jazz. Fat-Bottomed Girls were inextricable from the other song on its double A-side, Bicycle Race. To promote them, Queen issued posters of naked women on bikes, which were promptly banned in both the US and the UK. Undeterred, the band had naked women cycle around the stage of Madison Square Garden. Would have made for an interesting movie scene. Chronology. The movie offers us an experience of the weirdest bit of chronology rearrangement. We fast forward to 1980, possibly to get to the Freddie has a mustache phase of Queen as soon as possible. And somehow, Brian May hasn't invented We Will Rock You yet, whereas the band had been rocking stadiums with it since 1977. Why such a hurry, Hollywood? Sexuality. Freddie swung the door both ways. Bohemian Rhapsody approaches Freddie's sexuality in a problematic way, presenting him as the lonely prisoner of his personal manager, Paul Prenter. In fact, Freddie had way more agency. His beloved Mary Austin was far from the only woman Freddie would sleep with. He also had a serious multi-year open relationship with Austrian actress Barbara Valentin. And there were guys too, including Jim Hutton. Mary Austin, the love of Freddie's life? A lot of what the film says about Freddie's relationship with Austin is true, although it probably came as a surprise to viewers who were more familiar with Mercury's reputation as a gay man living the rock star lifestyle. He did spend many years in a heterosexual relationship. Early in the film, when Freddie was looking for the members of Smile backstage, he encounters Mary Austin, and an immediate connection is established. But according to Mark Blake's 2011 band biography, Is This the Real Life?, Mercury met Austin in 1970 when she was working as a receptionist at a clothing store. It took Freddie nearly 6 months to finally ask me out, she recalled in the official biography of Queen named Queen, As It Began. The two of them were actually engaged to be married, But the proposal didn't go down exactly like it was depicted on the big screen, and the ring wasn't the big gaudy diamond we see in the film either. In a 2013 interview, Austin described the proposal to be lighthearted and that it was a lovely jade ring inside a small box. In the film, their relationship was depicted as much more strained and much more separate after their breakup. But according to biography, the two remained close until Mercury's death in 1991. Jim Hutton, Freddie's romantic partner. In Bohemian Rhapsody, Freddie throws a lavish and wild party at his home, where he meets Erin McCusker, who plays Jim Hutton in the film. In real life, however, as recalled in the book Queen, As It Began, Mercury met Hutton at a London club called Heaven. Sometime in the early to mid-'80s, Freddie's chat-up line was, "How big's your?" The film shows Mary Austin and Jim Hutton marveling at Mercury's performance. But the reality is the two of them were not probably that chummy. In fact, after the singer's death, Austin inherited Freddie's house and the bulk of his estate, and then took it upon herself to kick Hutton out of the house, although Mercury had said he wanted Hutton to stay. What a bummer. What really happened between Queen and manager John Reid? Bohemian Rhapsody shows that after John Reid commits the unpardonable sin of suggesting that Freddie take a massive payout to abandon the band and record a solo album, Freddie is so incensed he kicks Reid out of his limo. Take a bath in the fountain of truth as we tell you the truth. Reid was just too busy managing Elton John's stratospheric career to handle Queen, too. Reid even got a nice payout for ending his time with the band early. We will rock you. In one of the trailers released before the movie's premiere, Brian May is seen in the studio teaching his bandmates a piece of music that involves both hand clapping and foot stomping. That song became the immortal anthem, We Will Rock You. But what's unusual about the clip is that Freddie is seen with short hair and a thick mustache, a look that's generally associated with him from the 80s. May recall in Days of Our Lives, when we went off stage, they sang, "You'll Never Walk Alone" to us. I went to sleep thinking, what can an audience do? They can stamp their feet, they can clap their hands, and they can sing. So I woke up with "We Will Rock You" in my head. Queen actually broke up? The movie captures that tension of the four members fighting over song selection for their album. A scene from the movie shows Freddie announcing to the rest of the band that he wants to go solo, leaves the impression that only he broke up Queen. A big white lie it is, because Brian May and Taylor also recorded their solo album. It was breaking up the whole time, Brian May said to Mojo in 2017. All of us left the band at some point, and not just one time, all the way through. But we always came back. Freddie Mercury's HIV diagnosis. In the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, Freddie learns he's HIV positive after a consultation with a doctor before Queen's Live Aid appearance in 1985, and bravely tells his bandmates about his condition, and they immediately rally around him. But previous narratives, both official and unofficial, tells us a different story. Mercury's HIV diagnosis happened sometime after Live Aid, or the band's 1986 Magic Tour, and that the other members of Queen didn't know about the singer's illness until 1987 or 1988. As soon as we realized Freddie was ill, May told Mojo in 1999, we clustered around him like a protective shell. He didn't want the world intruding on his struggle. Mercury didn't publicly reveal that he had AIDS until November 23, 1991, the day before he died. So, what do you think about this video?